we are going to be perfecting search triggers with 20 people. I'm going to actually limit the mastermind now to 20 people. I'm not really going to take on more than that. And we're going to be focusing on your business for the next, for up to the beginning of January, because I want to be there when we set that new year's intention. There's this period of time where we have to sort of take away the old and bring in the new. And I think that's really the part that I want to focus on in this mastermind, is going through the inventory of old websites that are like just, you've been dragging them around for years. Let's put them to good use. You know what I mean? Let's clean out the closet. Let's fire those clients that don't really serve us in where we're heading as a company. Let's I love that term, firing your clients.
Yeah.
Because usually it's kind of the other way around. Your clients fire you, but they never hired you in the first place if you're a consultant. But the point is that, I go back to that agency, is I'm willing to do things for the better of the client, even if I have to make them angry, because I want their business to succeed. Because that's what's going to matter. Some of my strongest clients over the years we've had the biggest conflict, and when we resolve that conflict, they skyrocketed. Their businesses skyrocketed. I had one client who was a web client. He came to me and he said, "Vic, okay, we actually met at Guy Kawasaki. Guy Kawasaki, the venture capitalist and Apple guy." And so we were like sitting there hanging out with Guy, and Guy was saying that you've got to be a serial entrepreneur. And let me give you a couple of tips from Guy Kawasaki. And I was thinking, you know what? I don't really like that model. He says when you're a serial entrepreneur, your investors expect you to put all of your focus, all of your energy into this one thing that you're doing. And then I asked Guy, actually, I said, well, what if, your investors change the direction of your company? What if they, you set this intention together, and then all of a sudden they decide, well, we're going to pull rank on you. We're the board. And they want to go and pursue something that completely changed the direction. And he says, sad, but this is probably why most businesses fail. It's because the vision that we started with. See, a lot of people say, oh, 95% of businesses will fail. I think it's because of the not ability to stick through the tough times, or thinking that the tough times won't be there. I mean, your vision, the vision that you hold, has to be big enough to include your shareholders, to include your board of directors, including all the people that you're connected with, including your customers. That vision has to be big enough. If you change that vision, you're toast. Like our vision at EarthGrid was to create a new paradigm for the global information network that would set the tone for the next generation of interactivity in what we called virtual community. Now, the word social networking didn't exist at that time. I wrote a white paper called Virtual Communities based on a book called NetGain, and I shared it at the PlanetWork conference in San Francisco. Reid Hoffman came on right after me, and if you don't know who Reid is, Reid was one of the PayPal mafia. He was one of the initial people at PayPal, and then he created a small company called LinkedIn. And we were talking about the future that was going to become the dominant paradigm of interactivity for the world. I mean, there was no Google Hangouts. We didn't even know what it was, but we just had a vision, and that vision was all of us. And I remember still to this day, many of the original thinkers in that group, we still keep in contact. And it's an interesting paradigm to come in and watch. But see, at no time did the people who formed the original vision of the internet, where it's heading, change their direction. It's all been about community. It's all been about a global village. I mean, I haven't heard that term in a while. But, go back to the earliest bullet. I'm in San Francisco, so in the San Francisco Bay Area, we had this thing called the WELL, Whole Earth Electronic Link. And the Whole Earth Electronic Link was all about this idea. I mean, picture this. You're on a dial-up modem connecting to a bulletin board, which has a forum where you're interacting with people. And then you get together once a month for a meeting where you get to meet the people that you had conversations with online. And that was the beginning of the social networking paradigm that we're now living in.